Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmakers getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Did you see the comment I just put in the private chat there, bud? What the I'm glad we're talking about him first, but I knew it was going to be like this, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad.
They're bringing guys up now. They're starting to bring these guys up, but yeah. We can get to them.
But I didn't know they were going to sit Vierling and Urshela.
Oh, yeah.
Guys who wouldn't strike out. And, welcome to the Balking Dead, everybody. It's the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Friday. So you know what that means. We bring the only guy I talk K-props with on. And, y'all know him as Spin Doc. I know him as Chris. But let's just keep this hot streak going of the show, as it's been 3 straight show days of sweeps. And I know my boy's been hot, so we just want to keep listening to him as well. How you been, my boy?
It has been a good week, man. Yesterday actually snapped back-to-back and almost back-to-back sweeps. We had a 7 play win streak going. Hit a new season high in units. VIP is up almost 50 for the year. It's been fun. So I'm just glad that we got the Thursday moving day bullshit out of the way, and now we can get to some real baseball tonight. And like we were talking about before the show, you know, I don't mind this card. In addition to the ones we're talking about, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 other ones that might turn into VIP plays as well. So we could be busy tonight, but we'll see.
At first, I'm not going to lie. I was telling you, you're like, yeah, I love this card. And I was like, man, I don't fucking like this shit. But if they're going to give us lineups like this, I may end up liking the day now. The first guy we're going to talk on this show is Garrett Cole at the Tigers, guys. Striking people out 26% of the time while walking people 7% on the year. Morning line, 6.5, minus 135 on MGM. Best line available right before the show, but then the lineups came out as the song was going. So I doubt it's going to be 6.5, minus 142 on FanDuel anymore.
Not for long.
Yeah, this lineup is not what it was projected. I can't even give you lefty righties because 2 of these guys, it's their first ever major league at bats, and they haven't even loaded up on the websites.
They're both lefties.
They're both lefties?
If you're talking Jung and Sweeney, they're both lefties.
Yep. No, even better for Garrett fucking Cole at the end of the day, guys. So, let's talk Garrett Cole.
If you want this one, you have to play the over. There's no other option here, especially with this lineup coming out. With the projected lineup that I ran, I came up with 7 on the dot pretty easily. And now without Vierling up top, who was their highest contact guy, he's their highest zone contact guy. And no Keith, and no Colt Keith, who also was their second highest zone contact guy. And I say that because Cole operates in the zone 51.4% of the time. That's above MLB pitcher average of 48.6. And with the projected lineup, every single hitter below the 3 hole had poor zone contact. Now, with Vierling and with Keith out, now 8 of 9 have poor zone contact. The only one that's above league average is Carpenter, and he's only at 83.8 compared to a league average of 82. Now, you go and you look, and as my man said, you do have two guys who are making their first major league start tonight in Jace Jung and Trey Sweeney. Both of those are lefties. Why that matters is because on the road and overall, actually, no, this is overall for the year. Cole K's lefties at 30.6% compared to 20.4% for righties. The Tigers are running a bunch of them tonight. And the other thing here is that you go and you look at his put away pitches, which while they haven't been the greatest since he's come back and before he missed time with his general arm fatigue, you still go and you look, and the curveball is what he primarily uses to get lefties. And you look at some of these whiff percentages against a curveball. Carpenter 56, Madras 57, Meadows 39, Malloy almost 40. I think Rogers is in. Yes, he is. Rogers 40. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I ran Jung and Sweeney at league average, but theirs is probably going to be higher facing a pitcher of Cole's caliber. I'm guessing that this one is probably going to go to a 7.5, close to even money, if not slightly plus money. With this lineup, guys, I'm sorry, there's just absolutely no way you can take an under here. So you're either playing the over or you're passing. I'm going to run a few more things. The funny part was, for my VIP list, Cole actually didn't even make my finalist list, but he's very, very quickly getting his name back on there because of this just absolute poverty lineup.
Yeah, like my whole write-up for Garrett Cole is out the fucking window because of who they just took out this lineup. They were the guys I was afraid of, the top of the lineup. They took out Urshela, 14 at-bats and only 2 strikeouts to go along with the other guys he was talking about at the top. And they're going to leave in the one guy who has struck out 3 of 6 at-bats versus Garrett Cole. And no, like, this is over or nothing, and really it's going to come down to the weather for me. This is something where the next game we're going to talk about as well. The next game looks to be getting better. I haven't hit the refresh button on how Detroit's looking. Let me hit that while we're on here right now. But game starts at 6:40 Eastern time. Right now it's showing 15% all the way through till, oh yeah, this game is going. So Garrett Cole will be a finalist, and I will be tweeting him out. A finalist, yeah. Fuck that. I probably will be betting him. I just want to make sure I do the work, guys, and check on it. Now, I already had the work done, like he said, of this projected lineup, and they're going to lead Meadows off, where Meadows was projected in the 7 hole, where if he was in the 1 hole, now he's a 1.5 now, guys, because he whiffs at every fucking thing he throws. And yeah, bro, at the end of the day, this is hilarious. This is just, what the hell did these people just do?
Packing it in.
Another thing that I picked up on too, is, like you said, this man lives in the zone. We have a lot of guys, even though with Meadows and Malloy and the ones that are there, that actually take in the zone. I mean, that take first pitch. And this man's on another level of first pitch strikes when I was looking. So this guy's going to get ahead, and these guys whiff to his pitches. Garrett Cole's over or nothing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 7.5 by the time I get to it. But sometimes you got to wait to see, because like we both said, we didn't want nothing to fucking do with this at first, and they took away their 3 best highest contact hitting guys and the guys that have actually given him problems in the few at bats that they've seen him. So yeah, Garrett fucking Cole today, and the weather looks to be cooperating as of right now. Yeah, will be a bet after the show. I'm gonna run it through, but yeah, I don't see why I'm not after that. So, yeah. And now, one thing to touch on is he is on the road. And if you look at his home road splits, guys are going to be like, oh my fucking God. Well, he's had 3 games on the road. 2 of those 3 were versus freaking teams in his own division. All 3 had mass pass history versus him. And 2 of those teams were top 10 in zone contact as well as chase contact. It'll come back to where he's used to being, guys, around that 25% on the road. So, I'm not worried about him on the road, is what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, when you look at his opponents so far, just like you said, I mean, yes, Baltimore, Toronto, and the Mets. Baltimore and Toronto, as you said, were were division opponents. Mets have high zone contact. The other thing is the umpire was just released for this one. It's Corey Blazer, very neutral umpire. Nothing you really have to worry about there. He also does have a walk percentage that is under league average and averages 16.6 strikeouts per game behind the plate. Umpire average is just over 16. So umpire shouldn't play a factor here. And look, really, with this lineup in place, I'm not sure that it's going to matter. This is very clearly a team that is doing September call-ups a little early to try to get some of their young guys some major league reps, but you probably don't want your first game in the major leagues while it's at home to be against Garrett Cole, who's coming off a performance against the Rangers where he just absolutely torched them for 10 strikeouts. And that's the Rangers, not this shit lineup.
Yeah, these things I'm refreshed my lineup thing twice on here, and they've given me 2 different lineups for this game. So now I'm really getting upset. And they do have Vierling in the 3-hole. Okay. They have McKinstry in still though. I will tweet out if I'm on it. I don't want to freaking run about it, but this lineup is freaking juvenile.
Yep.
Juvenile. Another thing they'll want to talk about that lineup being juvenile is and we're talking about the Tigers while we're on them. Granted, Skubal hit his over on his K props. I talked about it, guys. His under outs was the balls play of the day. I didn't have the nuts to play it, but that dude's not going more than 6 in any game, guys. I'm telling you, dude. They knew he was only going 6 innings, and they risked that 7.5 on that, knowing he was going 6. But it's the Seattle fucking Mariners, and he had fucking a day in that 6 innings. But it's something we do need to pay attention now, guys. He is on an innings limit. They're not going to fucking push Skubal. They know they're fucking 12 games back, and it is what it is. You played it, bro? Fuck yeah, dude. I talked about it. I didn't have the balls to do it, but I was like, this is the way to go. Something's telling me if it's a 7.5, he's only going 6. And the books knew that. So it's just something that we both do over here. We pay attention to what these books do, guys. I mean, not saying we use it every time, but fuck, if there's a red flag, you gotta pay attention to it. All right, guys. There may be a red flag here, but then there wasn't, guys. So I had to go delete half my write-up. As I realized, do you use the FTN bet network to check out the props?
No, I use covers.
Okay, well, I use them, and they've been putting DraftKings at a different number for everybody. And I didn't click on the DraftKings website until after, and then realized that they were full of shit. And I was like, well, man, I have to freaking go. I want in now, motherfucker. No, it's like, because I'm first seeing a 6.5 on Nola and a 5.5, and I'm seeing DraftKings not coming off of it. And I'm like, so I finally click on DraftKings, and I'm like, them lying sons of bitches, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, so, okay. So then I had to go off of, okay, it's a 5.5. Okay, that's what it, okay.
Yep.
We're talking Aaron Nola, guys, versus the Nationals, striking people out 23% of the time while walking people 6%. Open them up 5.5 minus 160 on MGM. Morning line 5.5 minus 120 on FanDuel. Best line available. Still FanDuel minus 122 to the over for that 5.5. His pitching outs is 18.5 minus 180 to the under. His earned runs are at a 2.5 minus 135 juice to the under as well. Projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Let's talk Nola.
All right, Mr. Nola. So there are some, speaking of young guys coming up, there are a few that are projected and probably going to be based on yesterday in the Nationals lineup with Chaparro, with Tena. But, you get a lot of familiar faces against this guy. So assuming that the projected lineup is going to be pretty close, you look at some of the history and it's really good for really good conditions for an under. You have Abrams, who's only K'd once in 13 plate appearances. You have Yepez, who's only K'd once in 6 plate appearances. You have Luis Garcia, who's K'd 7 times, but in 28 plate appearances. Keibert Ruiz, 5 and 19. I mean, so on and so forth. But the big thing here is that over the last 2 weeks, the Nationals, despite the fact that obviously they're not going to the playoffs and their record doesn't, not very good, they are second in the league in zone contact, 90%, which is way above MLB average of 86. The other thing here too is that their chase rate has actually gone down considerably since the trade deadline and since the All-Star break. This is a team that was actually chasing a ton. Their swing profile reminded me a lot of the Guardians in the fact that they chased a lot, but they made contact a lot when they do. Now they're actually chasing right at league average, but they're still making contact when they do. Third or second in Major League Baseball post All-Star break. So I go and I look at Nola, and I'm not personally, I don't find a whole lot of paths for him to get to a 6 here. He's in the zone at league average, and his chase contact is at league average, but his zone contact is above league average, 84.7 compared to a pitcher average of 82. You take that up against a Nationals team that's averaging 90% as a team, and then you go and look, and assuming that the projected lineup is going to be what they actually run with, you only have 2 guys that are under league average in zone contact. And that would be James Wood, who is probably going to strike out based on his numbers because his chase contact isn't very good either, nor is his whiff percentage against the curve, which is Nola's primary pitch. But then the other one, who's only slightly under, CJ Abrams, who I just mentioned, only struck out once in 13 plate appearances against Aaron Nola. So I am looking under or nothing here. I also look and I see that the umpire here, pretty neutral. Mark Ripperger, overall average on pretty much everything. No real looks one way or the other. Averages at league average, 4 strikeouts, but it's the zone contact that really gets to me here. And even though there's young guys in this lineup, they all make contact in the zone. And there also is a projected either 4 or 5 righties. Nola's primary pitch to righties is the sinker. It's the sinker. And what we know about sinkers, we've talked about it here and elsewhere, everywhere, every show that Sharpie and I on, we always talk about the sinker is not a pitch that generates strikeouts. Nola only getting a 13.7% whiff percentage on it. The projected righties in this lineup, none of them have a whiff percentage over 15, I believe. So for this one, I'm going to wait till the lineup comes out. But all other things being equal, if this is the lineup that they run, I am almost convinced that I want the under here.
All right, let's talk some Nola as we get Nola versus the Nats. As like you said, this is the same division, so we do have a bunch of past history. As we have 6 guys with a combined 71 at bats, and actually, it comes out to 24%, which technically is not shabby for being the Nationals, but it is kind of skewed, guys. Is like he said, a lot of these guys have good numbers versus him, but it's a couple. There's one dude down at the bottom who struck out twice of 2 at bats. Like, take that out the way. But even to see Garcia and Ruiz strike out 24, 25% of their at bats, that's not what they do. Now, I do want to go run the home road splits of where Nola struck those 2 guys out. I don't know if I can find that shit, but I think it's going to have a lot to do with the way I play this game. And it's Friday, guys. And if you watch baseball, you know what Friday means. It means normally it's City Connect for the home teams. And that means this man is not going to have his candy cane today. And if you look at his home road splits, it's going to tell you this man's candy cane is a real fucking thing, as his strikeouts at home have been better at home across for the past few years, guys. And it's by a good percent. It goes up by at least 4% the last 2 seasons. So what I've noticed with the Nats, guys, is when I've ran unders and I lose, it's because they fucking take. And they take and they take and they take. And it's usually a called third fucking strike type deal. And if Nola's on, his 2-seamer is going to run off the plate on and catch these guys. Now, if he's on with his rate, if he's that's with his fucking candy cane, guys. Now, I do believe he's going to be in a City Connect jersey, and it's like you said, to me, I can see the under, I can see the over. He can only see the under. I can actually see a way to the over, guys. And that's if this man goes like 7 innings and gets 6 strikeouts, guys, and does the old Jose Barrios to me the other day and fucks me on the second to last batter because the Angels can't fucking hit worth the fucking life of them. And yeah, shit happens. But still, every time I lose with Barrios, it's by the fucking hook, bro. I don't like that. At least it's close. Maybe I need to start betting the 4-5 or the
band. Bet the band.
Bands, bro, because it's like, fuck, dude. And like I told you beforehand, I was like, it's Moniak and Ward. Moniak had the strikeout twice, and Ward was my last strikeout out of 5. So I was like, dude, 7 fucking innings. I ain't got a chance, bro. I'm dead. So is what it is, guys. I will not bet the over personally. It's under or nothing, but I can see a way to the over if the candy canes are out. But like I said, I don't believe they're going to be out today, as Fridays tend to be City Connect. Do me a favor, guys. If you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. And another game that had weather, and it looks to be to where this game should be getting in, at least the first 2 hours of it. And that's the part where these starters are in. And that's Logan Gilbert at the Pirates, striking people out 25.5% of the time while walking people 4.5%. Opened them up 6.5 minus 102 on FanDuel. Best line available to that 6.5 was plus 115 on FanDuel. Pitching outs 17.5 minus 220 to the over, whereas earned runs are at a 2.5 minus 155 to the under. The lineup is out, 5 righties and 4 lefties. Let's talk him.
Wait, you said Skeens, right? Oh, or
Gilbert.
No, Gilbert. Sorry.
Gilbert, away pitcher first.
Yeah. All right. So Logan Gilbert. All right. So the Pirates are a team that in VIP we have picked on a few times recently. 1, because of the lineups that they put out, and 2, because this looks like a team that is starting to pack it in for the just for the year. So now that the actual lineup is out, because at projected, I actually saw many paths for Mr. Gilbert to get to this number, and here's why. Even though, and actually, even with the actual lineup coming in, even with Grandal replacing Bart because Grandal catches Skeens, it's still basically the same thing. And when you have Taylor at the bottom, when you have McCutchen up top, and when you have O'Neill Cruz batting in the 3-hole, all are potential for strikeouts. But look, Gilbert operates in the zone 50.5% of the time, which is above pitcher average of 48.6. And Pittsburgh, the Pirates, have a zone contact rate last 14 days of 83.5%, which is one of the worst in baseball and pretty significantly below batter average of 86. The other thing here is that Gilbert carries a 30.4% chase rate. When you throw a elevated 4-seam fastball, and then you come in with a slider, and then you can bounce splitters in there, you can get guys to chase. So 30.4% chase rate, pitcher average is about 27.5. The Pirates are above average last 14, and their contact is bad, like bad, like to the point where 7 of 9 are under league average in chase contact. League average is 62.6 over the last 14 days. The Pirates are at 55.1. So when you think about a team getting, I've talked about this math before, 37 to 38 plate appearances per game, and you get about 2 to 3 swings on average per at bat. You do all of that math over the course of a game, and you're 7% under league average. In fact, the only guy in this, actually the only 2 guys in this lineup that make contact when they chase above league average are Kiner Falefa and Ke'Bryan Hayes. Ke'Bryan Hayes is actually batting down in the 7-hole, and Kiner Falefa is batting cleanup. So I'm looking at all of these guys too, especially even against the slider, which is Gilbert's primary put away pitch in addition to the splitter. And I see McCutcheon at 37% whiff. I see Reynolds at 44, O'Neill Cruz at 41, even Rowdy Tellez at 43. And Michael Taylor just has shit contact for every single pitch in every single place. The man's a walking strikeout. So you add all that up, and I only see one true dead spot in the lineup in Kiner Falefa. He probably is going to have a tough time getting Hayes, but I literally see every single other hitter that Logan Gilbert can get. So you want to give me a plus money at a 6.5 for this one? I am almost positive that I'm going to be interested. I'm just going to run it with Grandal one more time, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be interested here.
Yeah, speaking of, guys, this write-up started with, I did it this morning, obviously, and projected lineups, and then I'm going to get to the part of the lineup with Grandal in it. So Gilbert gets his shot at the Pirates, who over the last 15 days, they're not walking, striking out 27% of the time with the second worst ISO in the league. And Logan Gilbert is one of those guys where if you just look at his numbers, you will never understand him. Meaning his metrics are better than league average when it comes to the three main things that I look at, be it zone contact, chase, and chase contact. Yet when I look at the top 10 teams in chase contact, it still seems to be where he has a freaking problem with. As he's seen 8 teams in the top 10 in chase contact, guys, and he's just 3-5 to the over 6.5, averaging only 5.5 strikeouts a game. So if you watch this show, guys, you have heard me say numbers are like lawyers. They don't necessarily lie to you. They just don't tell you the whole truth. Well, that's been something, guys, as I have been keen to pay attention to the chase contact when it comes to running these K props with Gilbert. So the first question is, do they even play this game? And at 9:15 this morning, it was showing rain an hour and a half into the game. It's now showing rain 2.5 hours out the game. So as long as it keeps showing that at least they're going to get 6 innings in, guys, I will be looking to bet this guy. As when I ran this lineup with Bart, we had 7 of the 9 projected that were league average or worse when it comes to chase contact. And then when we run whiff on his pitch mix, guys, I come up with 7.5 strikeouts. As the only 2 he probably won't get are the 2 guys that are actually good at chase contact. They actually don't whiff to his pitch mix as well. And that is, like he said, Kiner Falefa and Ke'Bryan Hayes. And one of them's in the fucking 8-hole. Like, all right, bro, or the 7-hole. Either which way, he's going to see him only 2 times projected instead of 3. Or if Gilbert does what he has been doing and he can go 7, he can see them eventually 3 times. But at the end of the day, guys, I ran it with the chase contact and whiff for him and I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna ride this guy at the end of the day. Like, I want me some Gilbert today. Granted, he is on the road where his K percentage has gone down the last 2 seasons, but I still got to look to run him, guys. And when we run the lineup now with Bart for Grandal, I knew we would get plus money, as Grandal is one of the guys that are good at chase contact. Still in this lineup, we have 6 of 9 guys that are projected, that are not projected because it's out. 6 of the 9 guys that are worse than league average when it comes to chase contact, or at least league average. And that to me tells me it's going to be a good day. I still come up with the same number, 7.5, guys. Now you'd be like, but Grandal's in the lineup. And I got Grandal for a half, guys. As yes, his chase contact is good, but the dude does whiff to damn near everything he fucking throws. And this man just told you next to you how much he's in the zone. Another thing with him is his first pitch strike, guys. This guy is a zone hunter. So he can get him. So I put him for a half of a strikeout. And then they bumped De La Cruz from, I believe, the 8 or the 7-hole to the 6-hole, where that projects to be seen 3 times for Gilbert. And that bumps it up to a 1.5 for him. So at the end of the day, I still come up with the same number. I get 2/3 with the key. Everything matches up with the whiff. As long as Mother Nature says, play, baby, I will be playing. Now, it'll probably be a half unit because he is on the road. And he has struggled on the road at times. So I probably will watch the risk of where he's at. But like we were talking yesterday, I didn't have the balls to pull it on Miller. But I was like, but these lefties are bad.
I remember that you're texting me, and I'm like, "Oh man, you were right. Oh,
I was so fucking right, bro. I was so.
You hit that shit dead on."
Yeah, but I didn't bet it. But at least I cast the under team total on the Tigers. But I was like, this dude's gonna fucking murder them, and he did, bro. Miller went out. It's the new Tigers, bro. They took out Vierling. They took out their Urshela yesterday. It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh well, life's a bitch, and you marry one, and then you move on to the next. But yeah, weather permitting, guys, I will be tweeting out that I am on Logan Gilbert today, and the plus money, I get it. I don't think the lines came to another drop to a 5.5, but they may see me on it if that's what they just. Not still 6.5 plus 115 everywhere right now. So yeah, I will be looking to bet him personally.
Yep. Yeah. Same here. We're totally in alignment on this one. Is that with the change to Grandal, who actually does have better contact numbers than Joey, but actually a lot of hitters have better contact numbers than Joey Bart. But with that change and with some of the lineup changes with Gilbert on the road, yeah, I think that's probably right where I'm at too. Is that half unit minimum if you want to be, if you really, I mean, or the other thing you can do is if you find somebody that you want to pair them with to take down one, maybe to pull them down to a 6+, you can probably do that too. Gilbert can fit in a whole bunch of different ways tonight, especially because he is projected at his usual 17.5, 18.5, right around 6 innings outs. He's going to see a lot of guys. He's going to face a lot of batters. So plenty of chances to get this lineup and plenty of chances to face the higher whiff guys here. So if you're betting it, you have to bet the over. You just have to.
You know who else that I used for Chase Contact that just played him? And you called it out first. You're like, the line says he's going to fucking kill it today.
Michael King? Michael King.
Michael fucking King, bro. And he went out and
he's going to murder them.
Murdered them?
Hey. Little free piece of advice for anybody listening. Whenever they bump a guy up on a back-to-back, whenever they bump him up from what he was on a back-to-back, you are betting the over, period. End of story. Don't even think about it. You're betting the over. They never, ever do that unless the guy is going to fucking torch. And that's exactly what they bumped Michael King up from a 6.5 to a 7.5. Yeah, you could look at it and you could have argued, okay, he's at home versus on the road. That's not how the books think. This man next to me taught me that last 2 years, that's not how they do it. That's not how they line these guys. So when they do bump a guy up on a B2B, it rarely happens. But when it does, not only is he getting over, it probably means that he's getting significantly over, which is exactly what Michael King did.
So same thing we talked about yesterday with Webb. You're like, bro, Webb's a 20.5. So I go look at him. Every time he's a 20.5, all but one game that he didn't get. If he got destroyed, he didn't hit it the one time. If he did go, he gave up 1 run or less and went 7 to 9 innings. So I was like, okay. I really wanted to go bet freaking Webb that day. So I was like, I got to back Webb. And I couldn't get there because I saw Freed's outs at 15.5 that morning. And then it moved within 30 minutes. And I was so stuck on, was that the wrong line or was Freed not going over 5? Because if Freed didn't go over 5, he gave up like 4 runs almost every fucking game.
Every time.
So I watched the first inning. He threw 25 pitches. Webb threw 8. And I tweeted to my guys, with 2 guys on, I said, fuck, guys. I says, it's not minus 125 no more. I hate giving out live bets, but I grabbed Webb to get the win because I was like, exactly what the books were saying was about to fucking happen after the first inning, and I seen it, and I was like, oh my god, the books had it all there. They were right. So I jump in. They were able to get back down to minus 130. So I mean 160. So it was, some of them just parlayed them up, but it was still like, knowing what the books are doing going into it, you can take that as a live bet too. Like, I got scared at the beginning. I was a pussy. I'll straight up, dude. I was just like, dude, I can't. What am I going to do? Bet fucking Logan Webb? Would you bet fucking Phillips for the first fucking time this year? And look what happened. You got fucking smacked. Would you stop betting guys you don't fucking bet? This is what happens. But then once I seen it, I was like, okay, maybe I can get in. And maybe that's how I need to get in. Because if I would have seen the first inning with Phillips, I sure as fuck wouldn't have bet his outs.
Hey, it's like we always say, they don't give away free money and they don't set bad lines. The algorithms, the technology that they use, the adjustments that the software and the stuff the tools that they use make, they don't give away free money. If you see a line, oh, it's too good to be true. This is hit, this is hit, gone under in 31 of 32. Blah, blah. Stop, pause. That's exactly what they want you to think. They don't give away free money. And as I've said here and on Twitter or X or elsewhere many times, the books are billionaires and none of us are. So keep that in mind if you try to think that you know what they're talking about better than they do. You don't, period.
Do we got their lineup next for the next guy? And
Oh.
we might. There it is.
There it is.
Robles or Rose. Oh yeah, Polanco, Rowley. Oh, they gave us Rayleigh, even better.
They gave us Rayleigh and Kenzoni.
Who'd they take out?
They took out
Look out, Turner.
Justin Turner.
The one guy who wasn't.
The one guy who wasn't going to K.
I had him for a half. I had Justin Turner for a half, bro.
The one guy who wasn't going to K.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, I put a 0.25 for Turner. I always put a.
Anyway. I got Rojas for a half. I had him for a half. Turner and them both for a half. I was like, either Rojas or Turner was going to go down.
Yeah, I got. Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, I'm excited about this one now.
All right, well, let's talk him. We did have a lineup change. I know some people are like, man, get to it. Paul fucking Skeens versus these bum-ass Mariners, striking people out 32.5% of the time while walking people 5.5% on the year. Opened them up 8.5 plus 110 on MGM. Best line available before this lineup just came out was plus 118 on FanDuel. I do expect money to come in on the over.
Oh, yeah.
His outs are 17.5 minus 220 to the over. Earned runs 1.5 minus 125 juice to the over as well. Projected lineup was 5 righties, 4 lefties. Excuse me, that's not the lineup we got. Let's talk them.
All right. Well, I just posted in the chat. They are the Mariners. They are permanent residents this year of what I call no under island, them and the Rockies, which means for those that haven't heard this before, it doesn't matter who's pitching. It could be a top flight starter. It could be a fourth starter. It could be a fucking janitor that they brought out from the stands. I don't care. There is no way you can take an under on the Seattle fucking Mariners. You just can't do it. It's just, here's why. Okay. There's scores of numbers to tell you why. First of all, Mariners chase right about league average for slightly under, but right around league average. League average for chase contact 62.6%. The Mariners 57.1. Oh, the league average for zone contact is 86. The Mariners 84. Called strikes plus whiff rate. So the percentage of time pitches that they have a called strike or a whiff. League average 27.4. Mariners 29. And this is after they made all these trades and after they got all these new guys. They're still horseshit swinging the bat. They take too many pitches in the zone and then they go fishing on the pitcher's counts. Now you go up and down their lineup, and Skeens does have a 51.3% zone rate. So he operates in the zone 51.3% of the time, above pitcher average of 46. Here's why that matters. The Mariners have a 66% swing rate in the zone, which is 2.5% under league average. So if you're going to stand there and take 99 dead red on 0-1 and then get 0-1 and then take another one for 0-2, this man has a curve. This man has a slider. These guys don't make shit contact when they chase. In fact, now with Justin Turner out and Rayleigh in, 8 of the 9 hitters are under league average in zone contact, and 8 of the 9 hitters are under league average in chase contact against Paul Skeens. You already know what you should do if you want to bet this one. There is just in no world can you take an under. Also, like this man next to me said, if you want the over 8.5, I suggest you go fast because you're probably not going to get plus money for very long.
Yeah, it's definitely freaking, yeah.
Wow. sorry, I just one more item. The one thing that the Mariners do because they've actually been taking more pitches recently is against right-handed pitchers last 30, they are walking at a 10.9% clip. But that's not going to tend not to matter tonight because of how frequently Skeens operates in the zone. And his walk percentage at home is an absurd 4.6%. That is top 10%. It might be top 5% among all starters. So look, if you're playing it, it's over or nothing. You cannot take an under on the Mariners. I can't say it enough.
And Dan Marzell actually doesn't walk people. The ump behind the plate today. So I'll take that too. It's like you were saying. I was about to say.
You mean Jordan Baker?
Is that who?
Oh no. I'm sorry. You're right. It is Marzell.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, bro. At the end of the day, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna wait till about 30, 45 minutes before the game and just make sure Mother Nature is gonna be there. If I lose 15 cents, 20 cents, so be it. I'm willing to pay the juice. At the end of the day, guys, I've been looking at zone contact for this man for the first 10 games, and we're 15 games into it. And I'm thinking it's chase contact, guys, as that's the one thing where he's only 1% better than league average. And this man just went through this whole lineup, guys, and they took out Turner. Rayleigh is 1.5, guys. It's not they took out a half for a 1.5. I have this man pretty much for 10 on a bad day. Everybody in this lineup is at least 1 to a 1.5, except for Rojas being a half, and he is in the bottom 3. And yeah, at the end of the day, he sees him 2. If he sees the bottom 3 that many times, then he's gonna get the other guys behind him, guys. Weather permitting, guys, this is a smash fucking play for me, guys, and I'll say 1 unit, but bet accordingly. I'm probably gonna put fucking more on it right now, guys, as the only time he's seen a lineup like this year was the Chicago fucking Cubs, and he put up an 11 piece. So I'm gonna fucking ladder him. He's a fucking 8.5. Why not just put 2 units on the fucking 8.5 and just be happy? Like, that's the way I think, guys. People are like, I'll tell people I don't really ladder. I don't like. I'd rather just like I believe he said it either last week or the week before. I'd rather just load up on that fucking one number. Like, hit that, bro. I'll be stoked. I got one guy who always ladders my shit. He'll be like, Jordan Montgomery fucking 8 plus the 800. And I'm like, awesome, bro. Like, I'm stoked I hit the 4.5. I quit watching. But, yeah, guys, weather permitting, I'm going to have a bigger bet on Skeens and Gilbert. And I'm also probably going to look to combine them, as I think either or can carry the other. This is like a Chris Sale Snell day the other day, guys, where the ace effect is definitely in play. We have 2 aces. If one is on and the other is on, we can have a 2-hour ball game, and we can miss this weather completely. Now, as long as I have 2 hours of weather, period, I'm good to get in, guys. Just give me 6 innings. I should have my damage. At worst, Gilbert wants to be a dickhole to me and goes 7 for 7. Fine. But if these guys show up today, guys, I see no reason why not. You shouldn't be betting on either or. All right, this is the guy you're probably pumped to talk about. Me personally, I don't really like the kid, but Spencer Arrighetti versus the White Sox. Striking people out at a 28% clip while walking people. That's my problem. 11% of the year. Opened them up, guys, on a DraftKings line, supposedly, and I'm not going to say it because DraftKings is bullshit and was lying to me this morning, where his morning line this morning was 6.5 minus 140 on FanDuel. Best line available now, 6.5 minus 112 on FanDuel. Pitching out 17.5 minus 150 juice to the over. Earn run minus 155 juice to the over as well. Projected lineup, 5 righties, 4 lefties. And they may have freaking put somebody in yet. But, yeah, what's good?
Speaking of teams that are packing it in and starting to use guys that are going to be or that could be assets next year, you have a team, the worst team in Major League Baseball. And this line opened at a 7.5. And that's a place that Arrighetti, I don't believe, has been this year. But look, the walks are or can be a concern, but here's why it's not to me tonight. You have a White Sox team who last 2 weeks is chasing 36.1% excuse me, of the time. Only team worse in chasing, excuse me, is the Colorado Rockies. Now, they are making decent contact when they chase, but you look at Arrighetti, he has one of the lowest chase contact rates among starting pitchers. He actually has the second lowest rate today, the only of all starting pitchers going today. The only one who's lower is Mr. Logan Gilbert, who we already talked about. So league average for chase contact is 57.9. Arrighetti is at a 48.3%. So when you swing this much outside of the zone, and when you're against a pitcher who allows this low of zone contact, then the whole walks issue tends not to matter as much. The other thing that the White Sox do, is they have the highest swing rate in Major League Baseball over the last 2 weeks at 52. They're actually one of only, I think, 3 teams that are over 50% during that same time frame. And if you're going to swing a lot against Arrighetti, that is not the way to not strike out against him. That's not the way to get to him either. The way to get to him is by taking pitches, making him throw his arm out. He actually can tend to get frustrated too when he puts guys on base. But when this man gets in rhythm and he's making you chase, oh, you're fucked. So I look at it where I see how often this team chases. I see how little or how often they just swing, period. And I see how little Arrighetti allows contact when teams chase against him. And for me, it's over or nothing. I actually think that we may have gotten a gift by this moving down from 7.5 to 6.5.
What I'm saying, bro, is I don't think it was 7.5. DraftKings was bullshitting me all freaking night. So how do I know that was a real line when it was DraftKings? That's where I'm coming to a banging my head on. This is where I realized at the end of the day that DraftKings has been lying to me. So I don't know if it was a real 7.5. That line that we seen on DraftKings is what I'm saying. I think the minus 140 on FanDuel was real.
Yep.
So I'm maybe the 30 cents have came down, and I get it. I get why people are betting the under. If you look at the White Sox numbers, guys, over the last 15 days, it doesn't say jump the man up or even juice him out like FanDuel did this morning. But does FanDuel know something? As if we just look at the last 15 days, they're only striking out 24%, guys. That's middle of the pack. I mean, that's a little worse than middle of the pack, but it's not enough, guys, to make the books jump a number up to 7.5. Even to freaking put it at a minus 140 like FanDuel had it, because he's only hit the over 6.5, 5 of his last 10 games, guys. It should be a pick'em, and that's where it's at right now, guys. It's at a minus 112 on FanDuel because the people who look at the K percentage and what this man has done rush to bet the under. Man, I don't know if I can get to the under, man. We've talked about this all day today, guys, about reading the books. And this is where this is going to come into my play, guys, if I get on them. It's the book's telling me what's happening, guys. And I have this guy when I run it with the chase, guys. And like you said, this guy is, what is it? He's below league average when it comes to chase.
Well below league average.
Below. So when we look at the lineup that they have projected, it was 7. 7 of the 9 are league average or worse. We'll say 6 is worse than league average since he's actually worse. And when I run it with the whiff, guys, I come up with a wild, absurd type of day, guys. I have anywhere from 5.5 to 9 strikeouts, depending. And that's a big variance for me. And I usually wouldn't want to bet a guy. And I talked about how at the beginning, how I really don't like the guy because he's walking people at an absurd percent. He's actually striking both out around the same, whether it be lefty righties, but he's walking lefties 12.5% of the time this year. And the White Sox are going to project to run 4 lefties. I said, oh, fuck, man, this guy's a walking machine. He's just going to walk himself out of it. And then I go look at the books. This motherfucker's been a 2.5 for his walks. That's what we talked about reading the books.
Yep.
2.5 for his walks, 7 out of the last 10 games. And they're going to put him at a very bettable 1.5 today?
Oh, yes.
If this dude walks 2 or less today, guys, he's gonna have that 8 or 9, bro. So yeah, I will be looking to play him. But if I do play him, this for me personally will probably be a half unit type play. But I think I get it. And but I also want to be careful in case if he does walk himself out of it. That I am scared of the 4 lefties and this guy walking 12.5% on the year. So that would be the reason why I stay off for a full unit, but I still think I'm gonna get in for a half as I see a way that this dude can have a fucking day today, and it's the White Sox. So
If one that actually might work for you is tailing off of what you said, Sharpie, is if you're a little nervous about the regular line and the elevated regular line, what you can do is, and I would say this for Logan Gilbert as well. You can take Gilbert at 6+, and then you can take Arrighetti at 6+, and you get those on DraftKings right now. You can parlay those for +112. So that to me seems very, very playable at the moment. Those
you
two.
know I'm a vagina, so I'd probably go 6-5 and pay the juice. Because like I said, I'm
Five
a
for Arrighetti?
Yeah, FanDuel will let us do that. DraftKings probably wouldn't let me.
No. DraftKings does. That's you can do that on DraftKings for -127.
See, I'd pay the juice because I've got 5.5 to 9. But then again, I'd probably sprinkle a darts throw on the 9 because if he doesn't walk 2 today versus the 6-7 guys who are gonna chase, yeah, he can have a day, and the books are saying he's gonna have a day within those walks. Remember, they did it with last year with Cease a few times. Like Cease was walking everybody, or Morton walking everybody, and then they want to put a 1.5 at a bettable, and you're like, what? If this dude don't walk more than 2, you're fucked. And yeah, that's the way I'm thinking there. But yeah. Appreciate you guys for showing up. If you haven't already, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe as well. I am looking to bet Logan Gilbert for a half unit. Once the lineups come out for Arrighetti, I'm looking at a half unit. Skeens, I'm looking to fucking drop the hammer on, and I may freaking combine both Gilbert and Skeens, as I think either or can carry them if they decide to have the game that I think they can have today. But I will tweet them out as I want to make sure that the weather is going to, whatever that big word is, going to be okay. That God is going to let me play baseball, or them play baseball, and me gamble today. So I'll tweet out, guys, at Sharpie's Bets what I make my final calls on. So far, the show days have been really good to us, as I probably put in a little more work on those days. But oh well, life's a bitch and you marry one. And it's always great having you here, bro. As always, let them know where they can find you and what you've got going on.
At Spin Doc Sports, you can find me there. I've actually already sent out a few VIP plays for the evening. We're going to have more. There's actually a bunch of spots that I've happened to like tonight. The other thing, which, well, not related to baseball, is that I'm actually been making for people customized fantasy football draft boards, customized to your league settings. Too many people use cheat sheets or use draft boards based on like just ESPN public rankings or Yahoo public rankings. Those rankings are shit. They're also old and dated. So what I actually, there's a tool that I use for my own leagues that I build customized draft boards. If you want to hit me up with the DM, I would be happy to talk about what I could do for you there. For as big as I play K-props and baseball, etc., I play fantasy football even bigger. So y'all don't even want to know what I spend on fantasy football every year. It's pretty absurd. But yeah, at Spin Doc Sports, hit me up if you're interested.
Yes, sir, bro. As always. And I see somebody talking Burns, bro. You will never hear me talk that dude's name again, guys. He is dead to me. As like my man next to me says, Rodon is off his list.
Yep, the
Burns
Rodon.
Burns could go suck a fucking camel's donkey, guys. And I don't care if he hits his under or over. I do hope you cash your bet, whether you are on the other or over. Go for it, guys. I gotta tap out to that man, bro. Every fucking time I try to bet him, he kicks me square in the fucking nuts.
Yep.
Like, even if I pull him down, nut kick. Hi-ya!
Yeah, Burns is frustrating for me to bet on. So Abel, totally get the look. I hope you cash it. I hope it wins. I personally will have no action on Corbin Burns tonight. He was crossed off early, but like I said, I sincerely hope you win. I hope you get it.
My luck, guys, is if fucking I bet the under on Burns, the fucker would go have 12.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That the same thing with me. So Abel, you should actually be you should actually be happy that the two of us aren't on it because Burns fucks us both. And so just like even though I don't bet him anymore, whenever Rodon is pitching, what I used to tell people is if I'm on Rodon, you should just fade it because I'm hitting at 60% for the year on K props, and I'm 1-6 on that asshole. So fuck him.
I'm like 0-5 on him, bro.
Fuck him.
It's enough to say fuck you
Yes.
and your donkey you rode in on.
So
I'm glad I didn't say mother as
Abel, I hope you win. And since Sharpie and I aren't on him, I think you will.
Yeah, bro. I mean, dude, I'll go throw $10 on the over for you, bro. So you cash.
Just to guarantee that
so
it
you
wins.
cash, dog. How about that? Like, fuck. What's crazy is if it seems like a really good spot and everything matches up for the over, go fucking under.
I should go put $5 on the over just so Abel wins for sure.
Right, dude? Like, I'm going to help you out, dog. We're going to let you win on this show. All right, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. Until next time, I'm going to go eat some Tennessee Mexican food and go to work because I'm a slave on Friday.